Innahu min Sulaiman wa innahu bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahi syafi, bismillahi kafi, bismillahi mu'afi, bismillahillazi la yad'u ma'asmihi syai'un fil ard wa la fis sama'i wa huwas samiul alim. Assalamualaikum. This week is week 8. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we have completed Assessment 1 and 2 for LCC 402, English for Oral Reporting, and Assessment 3 and 4 is similar to Assessment 1 and 2, but the data is qualitative data. Okay, so this video um, will explain Assessment 3, what Assessment 3 is all about, particularly in terms of qualitative data, what I think you are very familiar with quantitative data, graph, charts, and so on, statistics, okay? But quantitative data is slightly different. So when you look at these pictures, okay, what is the common theme? Okay, qualitative data deals a lot with photographs, okay, pictures, audio data, even video data. All right. So in previous presentations, some of my students even use audio and also video data in their presentation for assessment 3. Assessment 4, the assessment 4. Assessment 3, the outline is pretty much the same and the steps are also pretty much the same. You propose 2 or 3 topics for assessment 3 and 4. Once approved, then you can proceed with the outline, and the difference is, instead of using other people's data, you collect your own data. Okay, so the common theme here, if you notice, the data is generated from social media that my students shared with me, and the theme, if you is very obvious, that is reading. Okay, one is a photo taken by my student, and she shared a photo of her reading Reader's Digest magazine at the University Lake, and the other one is my youngest son is reading also a Reader's Digest magazine before his bedtime, and the other one is, there is no people, no person, okay, but just coffee and my favorite kuih raya, pineapple tarts, and this was taken in a hotel at outside the balcony of my hotel room, where I had my Reader's Digest magazine while enjoying coffee. I was reading Reader's Digest magazine, and also I had a notebook. Okay, so these pictures from these are all data that you can generate a lot of interpretations based on the 5WH that I have mentioned in previous lessons. Okay, another photo. Okay, you when you before you propose a topic, okay, for assessment 3 and 4, instead of pair, you'll be working in a group. So in this time, in your respective group, you discuss what are the possible topics that allows you to generate qualitative data, and then it has to be an analytical report, okay, based on an issue. Okay, and if you notice that I've been sharing some photos of Reader's Digest magazines, these are the photos shared by my former students, because previously I used to use Reader's Digest magazines in my class. Um, and to encourage reading. And reading is my favorite subject. So if you propose something on reading, inshallah, it would be most likely approved. So you can look at reading, whether not beyond the classroom. It's not just in the classroom, but reading not just textbook, but reading magazines, reading not just digital, reading on digital devices, but reading a physical book, and it's not just textbook but reading for as a passion. Okay, reading just, so this is the background. Okay, and also when you share photos, it can be, it does not necessarily must include you in it. Okay, because some students are pretty shy, and I mean, like they are being creative. So actually these photos are from my students week without wall activities, where they took a photo of them with Reader's Digest, and then they share it on their social media and they tag me. Okay, and so again, use the 5WH to guide you. Okay, so as you can read here, okay, the background of the study, yeah, and then what is a fieldwork report. Also, this is start with an end in the mind, yeah, begin with an end. So at the end you are going to produce a fieldwork report. So you are analyzing a particular phenomena or behaviors like reading. Okay, family reading, or you observe when you go to someone's house. Your Perhaps you want to observe your house, your relative houses. Which house does, if you notice this, Eid Adha is coming. Okay, so where what can you observe? What can you find in the living room? Have you ever come across a Malay house, a Malay living room, and you can see a shelf of books? Okay, number one. And number two, what type of books, what type of reading material, how many Malay houses actually have bookshelves, and then what kind of cabinet, and what if there are books or magazine, what type of books and magazines, or even on the coffee table. There is a kind of book known as coffee table book. Okay, so what kind of books, um, so from there you can analyze, okay, the reading habits of people in the house. Okay, so all right, this is where you can get the source of the topics. Okay, whether from websites or internet articles. So these are the sources. Okay, and even books, magazines. Okay, I have always been passionate with reading, and as the Reader's Digest ambassador for Malaysia since 2016. So this would have been my 10 years as a Reader's Digest ambassador, but now Reader's Digest has stopped producing printed magazines. So I no longer use Reader's Digest. I no longer ask my students to buy the magazine and use it to improve their English. Okay, but I used to go to schools and other UITM campuses, even UMS. Okay, to and schools, and also to do an outdoor reading activity. Okay, so and this is the CEO, the distributor of Reader's Digest magazine and books, and also other foreign books and magazines, like news, what do you call it, Newsweek. So she's the CEO of the company, and she's the supplier for Reader's Digest magazines to schools. Okay, so in terms of what are you going to learn from the this activity? Okay, you got to understand the big why, the purpose, what are you going to learn, and the structure of your outline, the fieldwork report in your presentation. It's still an oral presentation, and it will be done on week 13. When week 13 and 14, it won't be recorded anymore. This is a live presentation in the classroom. So you really need to brainstorm and decide what issue that you were going to present. And again, I've always stressed that Whatever issue that you choose, please consider what your audience can learn, because it's not just for your marks, but it's a good deed if the issue is really important. If you like say social issue, reading, or sexual harassment, or LGBT, or any social issues, workplace harassment, bullying, cyberbullying, then it's relevant. It's really relevant, and your audience listening to your presentation, they learn something from it. That's very important. Okay. So this is the objective. So we're talking about in social sciences, especially FSPPP students, right? What is it that you learn? What is it? Politics. There is no sensitive issues. Any social issues, politics, policy, that you want to, you can also relate to what you are studying. That's why I propose about three or four topics. Okay, as I mentioned, these photos were taken during Eid Adha. Okay, it's an outdoor photo. It's on the veranda of a kampung house in Kelantan. Okay, so you get the background, right? When, what, where. Okay, it shows two kids. Even though both of them were wearing red shirts, they are not related, except the one at the bottom here. These two are brothers. Okay, I don't even know who is this boy. I only know the little boy behind the boy reading. That's my youngest son. Now he's already 14 years old. And I did a social experiment during Eid Adha. And while waiting for the cows to be slaughtered and cleaned and cooked, so I just put a Reader's Digest magazine and I observe for half an hour, and I observe who will come and take it, what will happen. So, and I look at the reactions, facial expression, gestures, and the activities happening around it. Okay, that is qualitative data. So that I can present, I can have a report, an oral presentation to report reading that, because let's say during Eid, right, whether Eid Fitri or Eid Adha, normally you have like, what are the activities with, I mean, okay, let's say who people who are related. They could be siblings, they can be relative, cousins, or even neighbors. Okay, so what can you hear, what can you see, what are they wearing, and you can do an analysis of social construction. Okay, or even, what does it show, I mean, like who's doing the cooking. I remember back when I was in secondary school, whenever there is a kenduri, yeah, or even like Eid Adha, Eid Fitri, normally at my grandmother's house in Kelantan, they had this big wok, kawah, big wok, cooking, and it can be like many kilos of beef. It can be like gulai kawah, or gulai, not gulai, bubuk ashura. Okay, and normally the head of the cook at that time was my late grandfather. So it was the guys and my uncles, because it's a big work, right? Bakwah means big work for the family. And then let's say during family gathering, a lot of cooking happening. So I remember my grandmother was just assisting in the kitchen, coordinating, but the head was my late grandfather. So what does it say about that family? Okay, recently my son asked me, I think about last week. And he asked me, Mom, this is a very simple, basic issue. It's not like about Eid Adha or Eid Fitri or family gathering, okay, or funeral, even funeral. I'll show you photo of funeral. What themes, what issue can you analyze? Okay, this is very simple. I have six boys, and that means, and I'm the head of the family. I'm the general of the house. But so one day last week, my eldest son asked me, you might have the same question also. I want to ask you the same question too. Mom, she asked me, when you scoop the rice from the rice cooker, the rice pot, did you did you scoop the rice? Like the top scoop is for the head of the house, the bottom is for you. Or is it practice in our family when you scoop the rice, the top is for the father? And I said, what? There's no such thing. I never practice. I just scoop the rice and it's fair, who I just scoop the rice in the plate, or I just scoop a rice for my plate, and you scoop your own rice. And my son told me that he saw on thread someone asked that question because he or she noticed that when the mother scoop the rice, the top rice is always for the father or the head of the household. And I said, I've never heard of such practice. No, what about your place? What about your family tradition? Do you have all that? Because when I married X-Men 1, the father, the papa of my children, I was in Aceh and I noticed that some traditions in Aceh is also very much influenced by patriarchal system, and I noticed certain traditions which are very similar to Kelantanese. So that's why when you observe a particular, or you observe family tradition during Eid, you might see that it can be contradicting to your family tradition, or you could learn something new, or it could be similar. So these are your questions that you can answer. Yeah. These are your findings when you can report this. And when you report your finding, report using measurable objectives. Okay, these are some of the words, and these are the considerations when reporting. Okay, all right. This is also something related to reading, and these are my nieces and nephews. Whenever they come over, whenever I have minions coming to my house, I would give them some books and notebooks or papers and colors to draw, doodle, just to keep them busy. I would put them in a group, and then with my son, and then they will be reading. And then if you notice, there's also a Chinese comic book. Okay, because my boys went to Chinese school, so I have some Chinese storybooks and Chinese comic books. So do you observe the same tradition in your house? When there are minions, and are they running around? Are they playing together? Are they playing toys? Uh, are they asked to help around? Okay, or is there anyone appointed to look after these minions? Okay, so these are some of the things. Okay, what's happening here? This is a this is a family. This is the Mother's Day celebration not last Sunday, the previous one. Okay, on Mother's Day. This is my second son. This is my daughter-in-law and her mother, Diana. Diana is like my mom. My mom is a Chinese convert, but and both Diana and my mother are Hokkien. Diana Tan is from Penang, and my mom is from Kelantan. The Chinese in the northern states, like Penang, Kedah, and also in Kelantan, Terengganu, they don't speak Cantonese. Cantonese, Hokkien are dialects, okay, but they speak the Hokkien dialect. But this is my daughter-in-law, so my daughter and I are similar because our mothers are Chinese converts, okay. But my daughter, as you can see, is more modern, and my daughter-in-law, Dini, is more proficient in Hokkien than me. She speaks Hokkien, she very well, and she speaks Hokkien with her mom. I don't speak Hokkien to my mother. My mother doesn't speak Hokkien to her children. My mother speaks Hokkien only to her grandchildren. because when she became a Muslim, she didn't want to hurt her mother-in-law's feeling, my grandmother. So she didn't speak Chinese, or she didn't speak Hokkien in front of my grandmother, and she really wanted to be a Malay. So this is all about identity, religious identity, social identity, and also about patriarchy. Okay, but Dini is different. Her mother maintained very much her Hokkien tradition, and she still speaks Hokkien to Dini. So language, family functions are very good sources of for your field work, for your for your Saudara Muhammad, for your project. Yeah. Okay. So this is the important question: how long and in depth? Okay, this photo I like to share with you. This photo is um is a visit during Chinese New Year. That's why we were wearing red. This is me and my sister visiting my ama, or my late grandmother. Okay, if you notice, she's wearing a sarong. She's at home and she's wearing, and she's smoking. Okay, and then you can look at her facial expression, the way she said she's very comfortable. She's very happy because we were visiting her during Chinese New Year. And actually, there are other photographs, and in the other photographs, you can see that all of us were wearing red. And then Sayyidina Muhammad, you can see those who are wearing hijab. Those are the Muslims, granddaughter, and she's very happy. But then she speaks Kelantanese dialect. But with my mom, my mother speaks Hokkien to her mother. But I understand very, very little. So these are the five WH that you must consider. Okay, and also again reading photographs like this. Okay, reading at the park, reading at home, reading during bedtime. Okay, so these are the sections in the outline. Okay, and what to be observed, evidence. Okay, and analyze and give your conclusion and your general recommendation. And remember your references in APA format. Okay, I've already shared APA format, right? Okay, so this is the what, when, who. Again, I keep on stressing the 5 WH, where, and the big why. Why do you select the particular situation to observe or to record? Whether it's photographs, pictures, audio, or even video. Okay. And so this is how you determine the issue, the data collection phases. Okay. Again, who, where, what, how. Okay. And these are the tips. Ethical considerations if the subject matter is very sensitive. For example, bullying, sexual abuse, family issues, yeah, and then it's rather sensitive. It's not about celebrations of, like weddings. Okay, so you got to be really careful. And in the past, sometimes students, some groups, they don't use their family photos, but they take from internet, which I allow because internet is open. It's an open source. Okay. The last semester there were students who use recording, voice notes with her parents. Okay. To show, yeah, it depends what you want to show. Okay, depends on your topic. Do you want to show interaction between a daughter and a father, a daughter and a mother, when you want to ask money? It's really, really interesting. So it can be audio, it can be video. Okay, and again, your evidence, you analyze your evidence to come up with recommendations and conclusion. Okay, you will be presenting the report um, in the class. Okay, so this is all right. I This is my last few slides. Okay, I like to share. This is the last a few years ago. This is the, you can guess it correctly. This is the graduation of my nephew from UiTM Seremban. That's him. and he was also my student. He used to be in my class. So and I was wearing the black robe because I was on duty on the stage. Okay, so it was his graduation. This is your ITM Negeri Sembilan graduation, but in DATC Shah Alam, at DATC Shah Alam. So this is my sister, my younger sister, and my niece. Okay, my niece is that's her brother convocation, and she never had a convocation. My niece, she won't be having any convocation in her life because she didn't take SPM. She went straight to Tafiz after year 6. 13 years old, she went to Tafiz and she completed. She's a Hafizah, not her name Hafizah, but she memorizes Quran. So she didn't follow the usual path. But her brother took SPM, did diploma in Arau and degree in Seremban, FSR. So sometimes even siblings have different paths. So it's a very proud day for us. Okay, and this is the recent convocation, the current convocation going on. So now when you look at these photos, imagine your mother here, you, and then my son here. This is his twin, and they cannot separate basket with basket because basketball is their biggest passion. They play basketball for UITM, for Charisma, for PDRM, for Agong Cup, and Daud is doing his internship and Rashid is already working. So you replace this, imagine this as your mother. So this what is the convocation. So you see, it can be also convocation. So the situation, a lot you can analyze. This is my son's best friend, Haziq from Paroy. He came to my house for a year. And these are their classmates. And this is my son. He got an NC. He was awarded ANC. So that's his proud moment, even outside. And this is my son, Daud. He just started his, I think, last week. He's a Maybank scholar, so he is doing his internship in Maybank right now, and inshallah he will have his convocation next year. Okay, so I guess so from the photographs, the pictures I've shared, I believe that there is a lot that you can learn, and I'm throwing a lot of ideas so you can start. Um, yeah, you can start discussing and brainstorming and proposing, and that starting this week and also week 9, get your topics approved and work on your outline and your presentation. All the best. You can ask any questions in the WhatsApp group. Bye.